I'm a stylist. For actually slightly more than 15 years now. Yeah.
More than 15 years you've
yes.
been styling hair?
Yes.
Are you Kenyan? I mean, I'm just asking because Enzo Berry.
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yeah, typical Louis actually.
That's an interesting, anyway, it's a very beautiful name.
Thank you.
But you know what, let's talk about hair.
Okay.
When you talk about healthy hair, what does healthy hair look like for you?
Well, it's quite one, personally, I love long hair, and yes, long healthy hair. So one, it will not need to have split ends. So it will need to be well moisturized, well treated as well. Moisturized and treated meaning you need to use enough oils to keep it moisturized. So yeah, no split ends, well moisturized, well kept, no dandruff, no flakes. So yeah.
But when we talk about, like you've mentioned, issues of moisturizing and split ends, let's begin with split ends, especially for ladies like myself. You'll find your hair has a lot of split ends. How often should you cut off the split ends? Well,
with relaxed hair, we personally usually do it every retouch. So whenever you have you're doing a retouch, I usually like trimming the split ends. And as it is well known, you have to, there's no other way to go about split ends, is cut them off. So every retouch, you do a trim for the split ends. And then for natural hair, I usually advise at least every 4 months or every 6 months. Yeah.
So when you're talking about a retouch, you're talking about the chemical that you find ladies applying.
Yes.
So how often should you at least have your hair chemicalized?
Well, there is the standard time, and there is the time that we as stylists recommend clients to do. So the standard recommended time is 6 to 8 weeks. That is a month and a half to 2 months. Then we usually advise clients, at least if they don't want to do a retouch in between a short time, we usually advise them to braid or plait, to give it maybe a break for about a month or two. So generally there is the standard recommended time for 6 to 8 weeks if one is not braiding or plaiting or doing the protective styling. And then there is now, after that, if one is doing protective styling, then it will go about 3 to 4 months. Yeah.
Let's talk about the whole idea of having healthy hair in terms of, like now you've mentioned it's good to trim your hair, especially if you're doing another retouch, which means like when ladies apply chemical and whatnot. But let's look at the health of the hair and the relationship it has to trimming your hair. So if you don't trim your hair, what happens to the hair?
Eventually you will find split ends. Okay, just like the word says, split ends. You will find one strand of hair having 2 strands, or rather splitting into 2. So if you don't take care of that, it will tend to split up to the roots. So when you think about it, that is actually really bad hair. Yeah. So it is quite difficult to maintain. It's quite it doesn't sit well when styling. It doesn't style well. It doesn't keep a style when maybe a stylist is styling and then you try and style it. It's a bit unmanageable. So yeah, actually, split ends are quite a nag.
And when, like you've mentioned, the split ends, if you don't cut them off, they go all the way to the scalp.
Yes.
Can that lead to hair loss?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Wow.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay, so if at all you have not been cutting your split ends and you want to recover your hair, is that a process that can be reversed so that you get back your hair and get it back on a healthy status?
Yes, personally I usually advise, okay, there's some ladies who would really not want to trim off their split ends. So personally I usually advise them, I will trim it off just a bit, but then you'll have to take very good care of it, which means you'll have to moisturize it. You'll find in a case whereby split ends, in most cases they are brought about the hair not being well moisturized, dry and flaky. Then if you tend to moisturize it more, then the split ends will not be as much. So I will usually advise I'll trim off a bit, but now you'll need to take good care of it. Yeah, going forward. Yeah.
And mentioning the whole idea of having to trim it, and then it's your responsibility to take care of the hair. So reversing the whole process of having lost your hair, having not cut off the edges. When we talk about now the chemicals you use, because other than trimming off your hair, there's been stories of ladies who have lost, patches of their hair because of the chemical. What really results to loss of hair in terms of the kinds of chemicals one uses?
Okay, being in the industry for this long, I've personally not come across a client who has lost hair because of a chemical, unless the chemical really irritated the scalp in the sense of burning the scalp. Then it creates a wound. Then that wound leads to the hair loss. But I wouldn't say chemicals are the causes of losing hair. No, I think the use of either a hairdresser using the wrong chemical on a client, or using it wrongly on the client, then that will cause the hair loss, but not necessarily the chemicals.
When you say using it wrongly on the client, what do you mean?
You'll find some clients have very sensitive scalps, so usually the chemicals are usually labeled. There is a super and there is regular. So you'll find if a client has very sensitive scalp, we usually recommend you use a milder relaxer, because it will be gentler on the scalp, so it won't irritate the scalp, it won't burn the scalp. So that will be able to secure the client's safety in terms of using the relaxer, and which relaxer to be used as well. Yeah. So and then there are clients who are also, the scalp is usually not easily irritated. So and also comes down to also the hair type, which also determines on what type of relaxer one uses. You'll find also the knowledge of the clients or of the stylists, technical and both how they have been trained at the colleges on how to use the relaxers. Because you'll find we've been trained that you are usually advised not to put the relaxer on the scalp. Yes, you put the relaxer a few inches from the scalp. Yes, that enables the client to be assured that the hair will be taken care of, as the skin as well, which is the scalp.
You've mentioned something there. You've talked about hair types, and hair types determining the kind of chemicals that are used.
Yes.
How many hair types do we have?
We have coarse, which is now some of our kinky hairs, and then we have fine, and we have medium. So I would say three. Yeah, coarse, fine, and medium. Yeah.
So when, as for me, a lady who's trying to figure out what chemical to use, what would you advise me?
I would request you to come to a salon. I have a consultation with you. I have a look at your hair, get to feel it with my hands. Then that is when I will know which type of hair you have, if it is coarse or medium or fine. Yeah.
How does coarse feel like?
Coarse is it's tough. It's most of the time is usually full on the head. It's ningumu in the Swahili word. Ningumu. You'll find in the case whereby it is, if you use, like, for example, a milder chemical, it will not process. Yes. So generally ni ile nywele mingi ngumu. Yeah, that is the coarse hair. Yeah.
And the other type that you were talking about,
the medium is in between coarse and fine. Utapata, or rather you'll find it is not so hard and it's not fine. Yeah, it is somewhere there in the middle. So there, now it's up to the stylist knowledge and expertise to know which relaxer to use. Now, depending on the client's scalp, the porosity of the hair, the density of the hair. So yeah, and then the fine is when utapata, in most cases nile iko chache kwa kichwa. Most of the time the fine hair is usually chache kwa kichwa. An example is Somali hair. Yeah, Somali hair is usually, most of them are usually fine to medium. Yeah, most of them are usually fine to medium. Yeah.
when we away from even using the chemicals, and we know that after you've chemicalized your hair, you have to, of course, wash it.
Yes.
But I'd like to know, before we go into shampooing and knowing what type of shampoo you need to use for what hair, how often should an African woman wash her hair?
Well, personally, I usually advise at least weekly. Weekly. You'll find like the Somalis, they usually wash their hair every day. And to some level, I think that's why their hairs are usually very healthy and long. And so, yeah, if you can wash your body every day, why not your hair? Yeah. So, but to some level, it might not make a financial sense because most of our brothers and sisters will not be able to afford it. So we usually also advise at least 2 weeks. If you can't do weekly, then at least 2 weeks. Yeah.
So you're recommending at least
weekly?
Weekly?
Yes. If
and
the
in
hair
a
is
day?
open, if you can do weekly, I would rather you do weekly.
Some experts say that it's only advisable to wash your hair once a day and not twice, because it ends up thinning the hair and damaging the scalp. Is this true?
Not really thinning, but and not really damaging in per se, but it dries out the hair and the skin. Yeah, that's why you'll find like for most of the ladies I know, they shower like twice a day. You have to keep moisturizing the skin, because the soaps and the shower gels tend to make the skin very dry because of when it's trying to remove the dirt and all, it also removes the body oils, the natural body oils. So when you wash your hair twice a day, you're even removing the natural sebums of the hair and the scalp. So personally, I wouldn't recommend you wash your hair even 2 or 3 days. You give it time to recover what you have extracted with the with the products like the shampoos, because the shampoos extract to some level even moistures if you're using the wrong product, and yeah, the natural oils. So washing hair every day, not really advisable. And if you really have to do it, then you really have to put back what you have taken out. Yeah.
And when you say put back, how then do you put it back?
There are some products you can use. They are leave-in conditioners, which are enriched with the essentials like minerals and oils, which are also good for the hair. There are some oils that you can also use to put back the moisture on the hair that maybe the shampoos and whatever have removed. Yeah.
Let's talk about shampoo. Which one is the best shampoo to use?
Best shampoo to use, now it depends on your hair type, and it also depends on what you have on the hair. But we usually advise a sulfate-free shampoo, which will not, sulfate-free shampoo does not extract so much from the hair. It's as it washes the hair, it also enriches it with mineral, with moisture. Yeah. If I can remember well, or if I'm right, sulfates, are salts. Yeah. Yeah. And salts are usually are the ones that are usually made to make shampoos and detergents. So yeah.
And for those people who like to wash their hair with maybe Kipande soap and bathing soap, it can't be any kind of bathing soap. I mean, does this affect the health of the hair?
Yes. Like, okay, generally, okay, just think about it. Kipande soap, it is usually made for what? Washing our garments. And the garments don't have the same composition as hair. Yeah. So the Kipande will be very harsh, very, very harsh on the hair. And we will find if a person does it, you'll tend to see the hair is not the same as someone else who is now using the right products and the right shampoos. Yeah, it's usually quite brittle, quite coarse, and in most cases, no matter what you do to the hair, it will just not work. Yeah, as much as you, like, say, you will put oils, they will not moisturize that hair. Yeah. Let's say even when you end up now, if you've been having natural and you want to end up doing a relaxer, it might even backfire. Backfire meaning the chemical will not work properly because of the deposits the Kipande has been putting on the hair. Yeah. So Kipande, no.
Or what about the bathing soap, the normal bathing soap?
As I've said, they have not been formulated to wash hair. The hair has its own composition that has to be taken care of with the right product. The shower gels are for showering your body, to remove whatever you have on the body, but not on the hair. Yeah. So there are some things that you'll find in the hair shampoos that you'll not find in the body shower gels. Yeah. And again, it is still very harsh on the hair. Yeah. And of course, they are not sulfate free. So hizo zinatoa uchafu kabisa, which is not recommended for the hair. Because you'll even find when you're shampooing, you're not supposed to shampoo more than 2 times. Yeah. Because if you shampoo more than 2 times, you're excreting so much from the hair. Yeah. And you'll find the shower gel will remove so much than even when you do the normal shampoo twice or thrice. Yeah, you'll find the shower gel will, when you use it, after washing, you'll find the hair very brittle, very hard, and very dry. Yeah. So personally, I wouldn't advise it. Yeah.
Blow drying, for some, you'll hear, even I have people I know personally who they feel blow drying has a way of making your hair thin, excessive heat. Talk about blow drying.
Oh, blow drying. Yes, you'll find there's some stylists, I don't know, they find working with so much heat easier for their work, but it ends up damaging the hair, definitely. Because the heat more or less does the same thing as drying out the hair. Yeah, that's where you'll find you're told blow drying damages. But there's a good way of doing blow dries. You don't use so much heat and you don't use so much power. So much power meaning, on the blow dry there is the medium, low, and high. Yeah. So especially when you're doing it at home, just use a medium heat, or rather medium speed and medium heat. You don't have to use even at the salon. Yeah. You just control the heat and control the speed. Yeah. Medium will do. Personally, I usually do that with my clients.
And how often are you supposed to blow dry your hair? Or, is there too much blow drying and,
Yes, there's too much blow drying in terms of, especially when you're washed, there are times you don't have to blow dry. You just air dry because it will still dry. Of course, it will take a longer time to dry, but it will still dry. Everyday you can still also do everyday blow drying when you're using the right amount of heat and the right amount of speed of the blow dry. You can do every day, but use the right, that is also temperature. Use the right temperature to dry the hair. Don't use too much heat to dry the hair, because either way, even if you use the cold temperature, the hair will still dry. Of course, it will take a bit longer, but it will still dry. Yeah.
Talk about braiding, because it's believed, for some you believe, and I grew up hearing guys saying, the more you braid or plait your hair, the longer it becomes. I want to hear if that is true.
No,
it's not true.
It is not true.
Why?
It is actually, I actually looked it up, and it is scientifically proven. Whether you braid or not braid, the hair grows 2 inches. 2 inches, yes. 2 inches at least every month. Yeah. So whether you've braided or not, it will still grow 2 inches. I would say also it depends on your genetics. There are some Mzungu hair maybe grows faster. You'll find the hairs grow faster. Maybe Chinese also the hairs grow faster. Climate also affects on the hair growth. It only looks like it has grown longer when you've braided, because for us Africans, you've stretched the curl. Yes, we've stretched the hair curl because our hairs are kinky. Kinky means they are really curly. You know, our hairs may intertwine. The curls are really intertwined. That's why they're called kinky. So Mzungu hair, you know, most of them are either curly or straight, or wavy. Chinese hair, you know, theirs are straight, and most of the Asians and Muhindi, most of their hairs are straight. But ours are really kinky. So if you braid, you've stretched that curl. So you have the,
that's why you
get the illusion, oh, it has grown longer, but it grows exactly the same, whether you braid it
2
or
inches.
not braid it, yeah.
And what's the proper way of braiding? You know, sometimes you see people who have braided their hair and their scalp, like ni kama mtu the skin imerudishwa nyuma kabisa, like it's really tight.
I know.
Talk to us about that and the risks that it poses on the hairline and the health of the hair.
Yes, braiding. There's some hairstyles, of course, I would not even recommend my clients to do. In fact, I've had some cases whereby I've told my clients, don't braid that hairstyle, don't braid that hairstyle. And you'll find they will end up doing it, and then they'll come crying to me, or I told them, I told you not to braid it. I told you not to do it. Of course, there will be some hair loss, especially on the hairline. You'll find some stylists are really overstretch in terms of braiding. They really overstretch. And the hairline generally is usually a very weak area when it comes to braiding and manipulating the hair. Yeah. So, yes, then braiding, I usually advise don't braid more than 4 weeks. Ikienda sana 5 weeks max, remove the braids. If you really want to do it again, or rather if you really want them again, remove, treat the hair, do it again. Yeah, but don't stay with the braids for more than 5 weeks. It's like covering your body for 5 weeks, not showering, not moisturizing, not doing whatever. Oh, it is too much.
How often does a scalp what do you call this? What's the word? Is it shelling or what?
Shading.
Because shading. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So there's this. We spoke to a lady yesterday, and she was talking about why you need to take care of your body. You need to know that the skin is always shading, and you need to do some few things to make sure that the skin that is shading off is actually eliminated from the body, so that you don't get an odor. So sometimes you can be seated next to someone and the hair is not smelling too good. What's usually the cause?
Natural oils, sweat. Our body system tends to sweat. So yes, you also sweat in the scalp, by the way. So the sweat, the natural oils, and then now the external oils that you put on the hair will tend to make the hair smell. Yeah.
But how often does the scalp hair, the scalp skin, shed off?
The scalp skin is just the same as the other normal skin anyway. So if you can shower every day and still wipe yourself with a towel and feel like, and actually see the skin has come off. So I can actually say every day. I can actually say every day. And that is why I also recommend wash your hair weekly, because the skin has shed. The natural sebums are now decongest. Yeah, I can say actually every day.
Is this related to having dandruff?
Not necessarily, no. No. Dandruff is a fungal infection whereby you'll find maybe the natural sebums you have secreted from your body, and then the oils you've put on the hair ended up not reacting properly with each other, so they will tend to maybe cause the fungal infections, which are now the dandruff and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then when you look at now healthy hair, what would you say would be the ideal routine towards any African lady being able to maintain healthy hair? And not just African, but any lady at all. For healthy hair, what will it take to, get that bouncy? Because for me, by the way, my hair is very thin, and I've always wanted bouncy hair. I don't know if this is genetic or whatever it is, I don't know. But how can you get that, hair that looks bouncy and it's full and it's healthy?
The products you use, there's some products that will make your hair fuller. If for your case you have fine hair, there's some oils. Usually, it's well known that black castor makes the hair fuller, healthier, stronger, grows longer, faster. Yeah, there's some oils that you can use to make the hair fuller and healthier and bouncier. You can still use chemicals, but now you'll need to find the right stylist to work on your hair, because they are the good. Okay, they are the products that you can use, which will not thin out your hair further or more. Yeah, which will actually make your hair look fuller than thinned out. Yes. So there are some products you can use to make the hair healthier and fuller if you have the thin hair. Then just whenever you wash your hair, make sure you put back what you have taken out in terms of treat it at least weekly. If you can't do it weekly, then treat it at least every 2 weeks. Yes, you can. It's not a must you treat it weekly. You can still wash your hair weekly, but you can give it intervals. Like, let's say today or this week you washed and treated. Next week you can just do a wash, a wash and dry or a wash and set. Then the other week you can again do a treatment.
Talk to us about natural remedies. Sometimes you see people applying avocado on their hair. Are there natural remedies, in case I'm not able to afford the products because maybe they're too expensive for me? Are there natural remedies I can pursue that can help me get myself some healthy hair?
As much as you'd want to use the natural products, you'll find either they are too heavy on the hair, or they don't have the right composition. They have not been well mixed or well used to be able to help the hair. Yes. Personally, I usually mix up some oils like olive oil, coconut oil, and whatever. They are very good in moisturizing the hair. But of course, when you use them at home, they'll require a longer time to be able to, let me call it, for maybe a lack of a better word, seep into the hair. Yeah. But when you use it correctly, they will still work. For eggs and avocado.
Because I've heard of the eggs and avocados concoction that is supposed to help your hair become healthy and even grow longer.
Naturally, hair is not just stuck on the head. It grows. It grows. These products have, yes, you will see, it's egg enriched, it's avocado oil and all. It has been really purified to be able to work on the hair faster, other than you just having the whole avocado and putting it on the head. I would rather you eat that avocado and that egg, because it will be, the body will work well from within to absorb the food, what the hair needs. Yes, but not putting it on the hair. Putting on the hair is, to me and to some level, it doesn't make any much change.
Let's just finish up with diet then. So when we look at diet, what would be the ideal diet for helping someone maintain and possibly achieve healthy hair on the head?
Vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits. A bit of proteins. A bit of proteins, but generally I usually say vegetables and fruits. Yes, they have quite an amount of amino acids, vitamins, and proteins as well to be able to help the hair grow faster and healthier. Yes. So, and also drinking water, it's essential, very, very essential. Yes.
Dennis Insoberi, hairstylist. So much knowledge on all matters here. Thank you for making time and coming to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope to have you again. Tell us more about hair.
Sure.
And especially thinned hair like mine.
Sure, thank you.
Well, that has been Dennis Nzoberi, who is a hairstylist, helping us understand how you can maintain and possibly achieve healthy hair. I want to walk to the touch screen right now and just take a look at some